Former NASCAR Cup Series champion Kevin Harvick made his thoughts abundantly clear about the NASCAR playoff system. Specifically, he does not like the fact that the championship is determined in the final race at Phoenix. Let's take a listen to what he has to say to Dale Earnhardt Jr. on a recent episode of the Dale Jr. Download.
I don't like it coming down to one race.
Yeah.
I don't know that it represents the whole season well. I think when you look at a whole season, it's not about one race, and I think I don't know how to do it. I don't know the right way to do it. I understand why they did it, and I like the excitement that comes with it.
Yeah.
But I don't like that we get ourselves into these scenarios where we have to talk about guys crashing each other intentionally and not just the pure racing piece of it that the guy that has the best season wins.
So he's specifically referencing, I think, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race that happened on Friday night in their championship race, where you had Carson Hocevar spin out Corey Heim with about 31 laps to go. And then with 4 laps to go, Heim retaliated against Hocevar and ran him up into the wall and ended his race. And that caution would change the outcome of the race, where it looked like Grant Enfinger was going to go on to win the championship, finishing in, I think, 3rd or 4th. And instead, Ben Rhodes was able to claim the championship and get past Enfinger and win the championship.
And I think some of the things that Denny had put together with the point system and just the percentage of races that maybe decided the championship, maybe being a few races, or I think there's a way to do it where you have that excitement and don't have to have it come down to one race.
Yeah.
And
So just to give you some clarification as to what he's talking about here, Denny Hamlin kind of rolled out a strategy back in November of last year, just about a year ago. And this is what he had to say here. He said, "The round of 4 is great. I agree with Dale Jr. that it should be a larger sample size. However, 3 races to crown a champ, 12 total races in playoffs. Every race is important. No one will clinch early. The last race is still the championship." And then he would kind of go on and defend this strategy when longtime commentator Dave Moody responded saying, "People said loudly for years that they were tired of hearing about consistency and good points days. They demeaned Matt Kenseth's consistent championship, saying they wanted the emphasis on winning. Once the emphasis was placed on winning, they say they want consistency." And then Hamlin kind of responded saying, "Consistency is good, but it won't win you a championship in a 3-round Final Four. You will still have to win. It just won't come down to one race. One track that may or may not suit your team, driver, or manufacturer. Ratings would prove that this format doesn't get more viewers regardless." He then said, "Let me add to that. Harvick won like 9 races in 2021 and didn't make Final Four. Blaney nearly made Final Four without winning a race this year. So how, again, does this format put an emphasis on winning?" And then Moody kind of retorted saying, "Well, 15 of the 16 playoff drivers qualified for the postseason by winning." Obviously, that was last year. There's that. And then Hamlin said, "We are talking about crowning a champ, not making playoffs." I still think even in a 3-race format for the championship, I don't know if you'd have to win. I think you could finish 3 seconds and you could probably take the championship. There's definitely ways that would happen in a 3-race format. But I do like the idea of a 3-race format compared to the kind of you have the round system, and then you get to the final race, and whoever does the best there takes home the crown. At least with a 3-race system, it's more kind of like NBA or the NHL, where it's best of 7, right? Takes it. So I do kind of like that round of 3. And it also highlights NASCAR's difference and things like that. So you get to show different tracks and things like that. But let's go on and listen back to continue with what Kevin Harvick had to say here.
I think the further down you go in the series, I think the more maybe the worse the advice gets on what you should do to win a championship in those particular moments. And so it's a fine balance between keeping it exciting, but also keeping it pure enough to where it rewards the people that have had the best year and not just winning or losing in one particular moment. So I personally don't like how it comes down to one race, because I tell people, I said, well, you don't win a championship like Dale used to win them.
Yeah.
And I think that to me, it's when you start talking about being able to compare those pieces of the puzzle, when you have Dale who's won 7 championships, and you got Jimmy Johnson who won 7 championships, and then you've got like even when we won the championship in 2014, we won the championship, but we didn't have the best year. 2015 we had a way better year, and felt like that was the year that we earned and should have won the championship with when you look at the whole season.
I definitely think that he's onto something here. I definitely think the playoff format needs to be changed. We obviously saw a massive criticism for the Lucas Oil late model dirt series when they kind of moved to the single race format. Ricky Thornton Jr., who had one of the most amazing years a dirt late model driver can have, ended up not having won the championship, given the fact he got into an accident in the very opening laps at Eldora, and Hudson O'Neal went on to win that championship in that race. So he didn't win the race, but he went on to win the championship because he outperformed the other 3 competitors in that single race, despite Ricky Thornton Jr. clearly dominating the entire series. I think he won nearly half the races he entered. Just total domination by Ricky Thornton Jr. So I definitely think there's something on to what Kevin Harvick is saying here. I think the playoff schedule can be adjusted. I think you can need to make it more similar to maybe the NHL or the NBA, where they have their best of 7 takes it kind of format. I think you can do that in kind of what Denny Hamlin is proposing, with maybe best of 3, best of 5. I think that's possible, and kind of like whittling it down to maybe having the playoffs last a little bit longer, and maybe could potentially have more teams too in it, and then you can like whittle it down earlier in the season, and then you have that kind of 5 race shootout, and to see who wins, kind of mixing what they have now and what they used to have, which was the race or the chase. So I think that could be interesting. We'll see what happens, what NASCAR does. It does seem like there is some criticism of the current format, especially coming down to the one race at Phoenix. But that is indeed what the format is now, and drivers know what that format is too, and they should be preparing for it, and be ready for it. And clearly, Ryan Blaney and Team Penske know that the format is, and they've proved that they can win back to back, and they seem to be well equipped for the format and are just better at it than the other teams at this point. But let me know what you make of what Kevin Harvick had to say, and what you think about the NASCAR playoff system, and any ideas you have to maybe changing it, or do you think it's perfect as is? Let me know in the comments below.